Hello, friends. Welcome back to Aaron's Anxiety. I am your host, Aaron, your personal guide through anxiety. So, today I have a list of the top 5 mistakes that people make when they're going through anxiety. So, before we get started, please like this video, comment if you have any questions, subscribe. We'd love to have you in the family, and share with anybody that you think may be going through something heavy like anxiety or depersonalization or even depression, because these are all going to fit with them as well. So, without any further ado, let's get right into it. Number 5 on this list is going to be second guessing your recovery. If you are brand new to anxiety or depression or derealization, depersonalization, you might think that you're in the thicket, and you are if you were in the first few weeks. Right now, you're just trying to figure things out and try to get a handle on what's going on. So just hang tight, things will get better. For the rest of us who have been in anxiety for a while, whether that's a few months, some years, however, you have made some successes in your anxiety before this point right now, and you're making them right now. So, but it's important to take note of those successes, um, because it's a bunch of small successes are what's going to lead up to the big success that anxiety is gone from you. Um, so it's important to keep that in perspective. Sometimes I tell people to even write them down. Um, Write them down, all the small successes that you can think of that you have made. My grandparents used to say that you don't have to be happy with where you are. You just certainly have to be grateful that you're not where you were. And I think that's important, to put things into perspective. You're not as bad as you were, and you're smarter and you're more educated for the discomfort that you've had with anxiety. And it will get better. You just have to give it time, and you have to work towards it getting better. So don't undervalue your successes when it comes to this. Um, my number 4 is going to be self-adjusting your dosages. Um, so many times people get on this drug and they'll say, hey, it's not working for me. I don't know what's going on. I've been taking it for so long, X amount of time, and I just don't know uh, where to go from here. So I think I'm just going to up my medication or lower my medication or whatever. That is not a great idea. This stuff is not like aspirin. It's not like Advil. It has a very specific way of working in your system. When you adjust these medications, your body has to reset what it's already started. So if you were 3 weeks into a medication or 2 months into a medication, when you adjust it, even with milligrams going up or down, your body is basically resetting almost as if it's day one, because it has to get used to this new amount again. So it's always going to throw you for a loop. So don't adjust. Go with what your doctor recommends. They have a plan in their head for you, and you need to stick to that plan. Okay? So don't adjust your medication. It's going to put you further behind. Okay? So, number 3 will be symptom searching. We've talked about this one quite a lot too. When it comes to symptom searching, it's important that you just don't do it. Okay? It will make you feel a little better in the short game. However, in the long term, it's going to make you feel more horrible, because right now you don't feel like telling. You don't feel like telling everybody about what's going on. Sorry. It's okay. I just walked by. I was make sure he wasn't going to ask me a question about work. However, so what we do is we try to exhaust the options as far as Googling what's going on and trying to look up our symptoms and our side effects and medications, and it's just going to throw you for a loop. A lot of times what people will search for is someone to have the same problems that you do. That way it makes you feel a little bit better about the situation. But what in turn ends up happening most of the time is you mostly will discover that they're going to give you more problems, because they're going to tell you about their problems, which is going to make you feel like you should have those problems, or then you'll start to develop those problems. It's a vicious cycle. So many times people will get on their phone and look for something to make themselves feel better, and it makes them feel the opposite, makes them feel worse. And all that's going to do is make you feel worse, which is going to amp your anxiety up, and it's just going to slow your recovery down. So we need to not do that. So stop symptom searching. Anytime you feel like it, go do something else that's going to occupy your brain. Set your phone down, close the laptop, whatever it is that you feel like you're going to do. Don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. Because it's going to come up with something that you don't like eventually. Because that's kind of what we're almost looking for. We're almost hoping to see something that our brain will freak out about it. It's a weird thing. So, moving on, number 2 is going to be not letting go of your past. That is a big one. I had this problem. So, and what I mean by this is that a lot of times when we have anxiety, it's because of something that happened in our past. And we kind of go back to that in our brain of reliving that moment or that time. All it does is serve to just keep you in the anguish and stressful, and your brain's running and thinking about all these intrusive thoughts and things, and you always think, well, if I go back and I could change it, maybe it would make it different. It doesn't make it different. It doesn't change it. It won't make anything better by you dwelling on these thoughts. They have control over you, and you need to not let them have this control over you. So for me, as a lot of my viewers know, marijuana spiked my anxiety and made me freak out. I don't blame marijuana for this. This isn't marijuana's fault. This is Aaron's fault, because Aaron had the anxiety to begin with. The marijuana just made me freak out a little bit and kind of brought everything to the forefront, so that I had to deal with it. So that being said, when it was a while, it took me that I kept blaming it on marijuana. I kept blaming, this is marijuana. Don't do it. Marijuana is so horrible. I don't smoke marijuana, and it was easy for my brain to push that onto the reasons of what happened. It's not marijuana's fault. And once I let that go, everything calms down. So, and then I ended up going to, another get together with some friends, and I have a stoner buddy there, and I said, hey man, would you mind if I just took a hit of your joint real quick? He's like, yeah, sure, there's no problem. He's a good friend of mine. And I just smoked just a little bit of marijuana, just one puff, just to prove to my brain that this has no more control over me anymore. This is not what happened. This is just a weed that grows on the side of the road. Like, this is nothing. This is not my problem. My problem is with me and building things up in my head and not letting things go. So let go of the past. Let go of whatever that was. There's nothing you can do about it now, so it's good to let it go. So let it go. Do your best you can. Sometimes it's hard to find those things that are causing you that grief. Search hard, find them, deal with them, process through them, and figure out a way so that your brain can let them go. Don't just say, I'll let it go. Deal with it how you feel it needs to be dealt with, to prove to yourself that it's not that, or that it was a product of it, but it's not going to have a hold of you anymore. So, the number one thing, what could the number one thing be? Trying to be perfect is my number one mistake that people make when it comes to anxiety. Let me just take a second. It's just you, just me here. You are enough. That's it. You are enough. Right where you're sitting, you are enough. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. You don't need to think about what others think about you. You are enough right where you are. Excuse me. So, that being said, people will do things and they'll mess up and they'll ridicule themselves and they'll be so hard on themselves, or they will choose not to do things because they think that they're going to mess it up and they're going to do it wrong. Do it wrong. Excuse me, tickle my throat. Do it wrong. It's okay to do it wrong. Do it wrong until you can do it right. Unless it's something life-threatening, don't do that. But if normal day-to-day stuff, do it wrong. It's okay to do it wrong. Do it wrong until you do it right. And that's the only way you're going to get past this. It's okay to be imperfect. You don't have to prove yourself. The Earth is floating around the sun. In 4 billion years, the sun is going to go out, and the Earth is going to go out with it, and none of this will even matter. So why worry about it? I mean, we're all just primordial apes floating on a rock going around the sun. So, excuse me. So, that being said, you're not going to be perfect at everything. We're going to mess up. It's in our nature to mess up. Children, us, old people, we've all messed up. We've all been messing up since we were babies. The first thing you do is not breathe until you breathe. You know what I mean? You stumble before you walk. The first time you ever grabbed a spoon, you took some yams or baby food and jammed it right into your cheek because you messed up. It's okay. You got to do it. You got to eat. Keep doing it wrong until you can do it right. There's no sense in trying to be perfect all the time. And if somebody says otherwise, then you can tell them where they can go with it. So, okay, friends, this is going to wrap it up for this video. It would be a good idea to write these things down if you can. Take a look at these things, contemplate these things, tell me your thoughts on them and how they affect you. This isn't forever. I say it in all my videos. This isn't forever because it's not forever. But if we can shorten the amount of time that we have to be in this hell, wouldn't that be so much better? So yes, let's do that. Let's get these tips, these tricks, learn as much as we can about the beast so that we know how to take it down. So, and I would really encourage you guys to help each other out as well if you can. If you see a comment on one of my videos and somebody's asking a question, if you have good advice for these people, sound advice that you've experienced or have researched well, give it. You know what I mean? We need to help as many people as we can. It's all of our responsibilities to humanity to try to make everybody else's life easier. Making other people's life easier is going to make your life easier. So I can't tell you the gift it is to have this channel and have you guys in it. So I want to help you any way that I can. So let me know. Okay, friends, I'm going to wrap it up here. Like, comment, subscribe. Ain't nothing but a thing, Chicken Wang. You're going to get through it. All right, until next time, friends. I'm Aaron. You're awesome. I'll see you in the next video.